They don't do they do that at other places y'all go? Don't they stay?
They stay, but it ain't long. I'm saying, when I say it ain't long, if they there to pray at 9 o'clock, by 9:30, everybody heading home.
Even where they have 4. That's why they have 4, because the people go in, they make their salat, then they leave, and then the next crew is coming in.
It's just a ritual.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with no Eid al-Adha. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah, they not,
And they definitely don't have no food, a whole lot of food to keep.
No.
Food.
What about games? They used to have games that eat gifts and stuff.
How can you do that if you have?
You got a 10-minute. You can't be there no past 10 minutes, 15 minutes limit.
Because if you're going out there to the Showplace Arena, that place ain't free. So there ain't gonna be nowhere for nobody to set up no games, for nobody to be hanging around, because that's more money coming out the coffers.
This is really something. Anyway, the point is, no Eids in Oakland. The next day, I went to the Eid in Alameda. It used to be one of our centers, but I drove over there and looked. It's a Sufi joint now, it's Sufis. The Negro or the African Imam, Musa, long gone. But I met Abdul-Malik over there, and that's where he went to Eid. And then I talked to people and I found that all the Negroes went to Eid in Berkeley, right next door. But what about Oakland? Can you see the significance? Oakland was a center of the Islamic Revolution. That's what the white folks said on the internet. Oakland and the Islamic Revolution. You can't find no revolution there now.
It appears they don't want any example, no proper example of nothing except for what they want to put out themselves. They don't want people to have any alternative. They don't want people to have any other choice except for the choices they present.
Well, that's why we turned everything. All of this fitna has shown exactly the opposite. What has it shown? You can face boss man down with ridiculous. It ain't that you can stand up to him. You can get arrested 4 and 5 times. You can have guns drawn. You can have family members assaulted and killed. You can have all of that. And remember, we have told, with maximum we've told 10% of what's been going on. But we would sound, but we got to note it down. So they got exactly what they didn't want. They wanted to prove to everybody, local and immigrants, we do what we want in America. You cannot survive. Ain't gonna be no Islam in America. Well, we've been right all the time. That's why our flyers, what is it? Re-Africanization of the Islamic movement of North America. De-Israelization of the Islamic movement of North America. It's clear about space awareness, idealism, what we are, the College of Islamic Movement Studies, the Department of Strategic and Islamic Studies, we have that now, but it's just right here. All of this we've already been doing, but now comes the functional program. We're instituting this program. Okay. Now, for everybody else, that might be kind of new. For us, we've been doing this all the time. This is an old flyer. Prerequisite to unity, Masjid al-Islam clears the air. This is 1986. Masjid al-Islam and former American Muslim mission. Masjid al-Islam and Jamaat al-Tabligh. Masjid al-Islam and Islam. Masjid al-Islam and the Shia connection. Masjid al-Islam and Islamic ideological impact on Oakland, the Bay Area, and the nation. This seminar, Masjid al-Islam will attempt to present its own history development, past and present relationships with Muslims. What positions were taken? What strategies were developed? What was others' response? What we believe the Muslims should do to solve their small differences and maximize the full God-given potential. Okay, I don't want to read all the rest, but this is December 14th, 1986. That's exactly where we are now, in this stage. Masjid al-Islam clears the air. But this is better than then. The subjects are not far apart. Between that encirclement and suppression, this was the end of the first full course, 6-year encirclement and suppression. Full court press for those days, as big as now, except it was then. What is our attitude? It's exactly the same as now, our current and future programs. The Great Recovery, a setback ain't nothing but a setup for a comeback. What does all this mean? It's all been chronicled, it's all been noted, and it'll eventually happen. Whether it's combined with the media getting wind of it and being forced to publicize it, whether we publicize it ourselves, so we talk about legal websites and all of that, fighting our own case because we do not want to just win a case. That's what they want. That's what they kept telling me. You trust me, I'll win it for you. I said, win it? I don't want to just win it. I have to tell the story. The story is more important than the win or loss. And that's where we are with this stuff right now. The reason I wanted to mention the people of Midian, the people of Shuaib, they know Shuaib, man, you're telling the truth. But now look at the United States. If we will follow fair trade, honest trade, geological positioning to help Canada and Mexico, because we're the biggest and we're in the middle. If we were to not cut off the highway and curtail the trade and make everybody pay sanctions and tariffs, right? I'm telling you, this is exactly what the Tafsir is saying. It's exactly, it's not the, and also the Tafsir is saying, this is not new. This is the exact same thing that happened to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And guess what? It's exactly the same thing happened to us. Exactly. If you don't go along with our program, we're gonna sanction you. We're gonna cut you off. You're gonna be unmentionable. Ain't nobody gonna mention you and your name. And your so-called encounters with the government, we're not gonna even mention them. And they're horrendous.
They say that when the Prophet ﷺ was in Mecca, and when he first raised the call, La ilaha illallah, he said the Quraysh automatically knew exactly what that meant.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the Muslims may not know it at the time, except there's no God but Allah. But he said they knew exactly that was a call to revolution. You know, or you want to call it evolution. In other words, no longer can we do what we've been doing and obey what you've been doing because I'm sorry. We can't do that anymore. They say they recognize that from the first day of the call. And so all the people that recognize it, like you talk about in history, they jump right into doggone mode, and they do everything within their power to crush it, stop it, whatever they need to do.
With each one, Midian is right there on the highway where all the trade goes. Mecca is right there on the highway. Trade goes and comes. The United States is right on the global highway. It's being taken out, but it hasn't used anything correctly. Now, what is our benefit in all of this? Our benefit is to tell people there are possibilities. For the Muslims, to link all of this, when we tell this to the Muslims, they will have a little light understanding. That's why we're using strictly tafsir and hadith. The fitna that the United States is getting is to let it cool down, let it learn, and hey man, for being a gangster in the world, your number is up. You're not that anymore. I don't care. The plagues, the wars, can you imagine? The U.S. haven't won no war. When has they claimed victory in Grenada? They didn't have no Vietnam. They had all the stuff you hear about. They had no victory in Korea. You don't hear them talking about, and that was 60 years ago. Pitmanjan, 1953, that was 60 years ago that they signed that little thing. The ceasefires, the war is still technically going on.
65 years ago.
Yeah, that's why they got the DMZ, that's right, 65 years ago. Can you imagine?
And even they're coming to some understanding that they need to be unified.
The Koreans already said we're going to build a railroad up and down.
And then Don said, no, you can't build a railroad between the two Koreas. You can imagine what they think about him.
Everything is going our way. They are acting like the Midianites. We're using our political and geological positioning all the time to cause trouble for everybody. And it ain't stopping nobody. But everybody...
It's unifying people.
That's wonderful. That's what I mean. And what about us? We're sitting right here. What's the value of what we've been doing it at the highest point when nobody thought it was possible? See, in a few years, everybody turn on the U.S., it'll be all right to
We was with you.
But it ain't like that. We have dealt with everything the U.S. can throw at a people. Fear-mongering, hate-mongering, cutting off isolation, sanctions. And they had no effect. They had no effect on us. And this setback ain't nothing but a setup for a comeback. We coming back, and your great attack on us was basically little or nothing. And we're going to make them pay for everything they did. One way or the other. They're going to pay probably both ways. In cash for the illegal things. And some of them you can't get around. But publicity-wise, educational-wise, civil rights-wise, stickability-wise, that nobody can say, you can't do this and survive America. Well, you can do it. Not only you can do it, that they can't do nothing to you. No way. Not half. We've been totally immersed in circumventing suppression and been laughing all the time. Literally laughing and making fun of the mean old white man. So we've domesticated the system. And it's never been individual. We've always talked about movement and organization. No matter what help we get or who hangs around, it's still been organization, movement, and what have you. Internal governmental terrorism, so we're teaching. Show we can change the world for the better. Outline future by standing on the past victories. Counterpunch, focus, longevity. There's a difference now. In the past, we were counterpunching and fighting a defensive battle. Always fighting them, but we, in the ring they used to call it, he on his bicycle, a rope-a-dope. You know what I mean? We were not strategically on the offensive. We were on a strategic defense, but winning. Now remember the little programs we have, we just counterpunching the white man. First of all, he's not hurting us no matter what he do. And the thing, since it's psychological, the thing that he's doing is supposed to hurt us, we already know. Since it's psychological, you can't do that, even under your own crooked law. So if Mukhtar sells our property, at least that one he sold, what all this, I spent 2 years, 3 years remodeling the property. They let it collapse. 10 years, no nothing. So everything, roofs ready to fall, everything. So I took a portion of that, totally remodeled it, 80% of the work and all of the money I did myself. Brought it up to par, beautiful. He sold it. Every time I would clean up, I don't know how many truckloads of garbage. The last time I had 3 30-foot dumpsters full to the brim. And the guy brought his 3 trucks, 30-footers, you know, the longest you can get, full to the brim. And his bobcat to scrape the soil to make sure everything's clean, everything. I paid him, he left. When I got back here and got back there, Mukhtar tore some stuff down in the school, drug it over to that area and dumped it to make it look like trashy again. He did that 3 or 4 times. What I'm trying to say is, all of that was a very good reason. So, can you survive? Can anybody deal with the United States government and survive? That question is solved. Yes, you can. I don't want to sound like this. Si puede. Divide, conquer, and rule. Coup d'etats all over the world. Sergeants, colonels, generals with U.S. backing. All the progress of Hugo Chavez in Central and South America, all you hear is bad news from Venezuela. Venezuela's sanction is cut off. That's called making them pay a higher price. So with us, when it's psychological warfare, they want to hit us hard with everything they got. So-called killing of my grandsons, putting my sons in jail, all of this stuff, supposed to make you pay a higher price, so high you're not willing to pay it. Right? With Mexico and with Canada right now, the disputes, with the sanctions with Canada, everybody, when you're going to fight people, you pick your fights in your time. You don't fight everybody at the same time. Thank God we got a real bozo in there. Right? And he attacked everybody at the same time and all of his closest allies. So what they're doing with Iran is trying to make it pay a price higher than it's willing to pay. And now hold on to your hats. A lot of our lectures and a lot of our talks come from my analysis. You have to understand, we know exactly what we're doing. So for the last, you go back a year back, 2 years back, Iran has got it made. Everybody's just going to come its way. And even at their lectures, I tell them, all you have to do is develop your morality, your ethics, to be ready for the influx. Because guess what? Everything is going Iran's way. And we call Saudi Arabia the theater of the absurd. If y'all remember. This guys, they get worse now. But they're doing everything that's insane. Right? So Saudi Arabia, United States, and the Israelis are trying to make Iran, they're trying to make Yemen a high price. That's what the thing is, what Hugo Chavez did in Venezuela, what Lula did in Brazil, top of the line. Lula went in the presidential race and he's in jail. He ain't even the campaign in Brazil. But the U.S., remember, his agencies, all of their agencies are working, they're burning candlelight all 24 hours, 7 days a week to do like the people of Midian did. If we use honor, if we use sincerity and fairness, we the Americans feel we would be broke. And that's what Allah is using on those clowns.
It's naturally, they don't know how to act any other way. Everything has been war and oppression since the beginning.
And they get locked in. This is, look, to read the tafsir and we're living it is strange. But we do our planning and organizing based on this. The front page news today is right out of the commentary. Smack out of the commentary. Word for word. You could put this in the newspaper and scratch out Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and a few more things. You could put it in International Journal or Political Journal, World Global, some of the magazines they used to have here. You could put it in those and put Palestine on there and put
Just change the name.
Yemen for oppressed, right? It's insanity. Okay, so now, the one thing that they have been successful in breaking the back of the African American Islamic movement in North America. They've been successful in neutralizing most of the Muslim world. They've been successful in divide, conquer, and rule. Develop Daesh here. Remember when Daesh popped up? They popped up, all of them driving those white Toyotas headed right to where they ought to go. And all the armies just fold. Why? Because they didn't pay the generals.